I want you to look at these faces. Different ages, different cultures, different backgrounds. Some poor, some wealthy. Some young, some old. These faces represent lives lost because medicines, antimicrobials, what we all generally call antibiotics, stopped working for them. Some died from surgical procedures, and some from infections which were once treatable, all because microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, and parasites learned faster than we could keep up. This is called antimicrobial resistance, or AMR. AMR is one of the greatest challenges of our time. A problem not just for hospitals or confined to laboratories. It is when microorganisms no longer respond to the medicines designed to kill them. And you say, well, that's not my problem. And that is a truth we all avoid. AMR is not just a threat for other people, it is a threat for all people. And that means you over there, you, and even me. And if AMR affects us all, then you must agree with me that sustaining the people, young researchers, or so-called early career researchers, who are working to fight against this threat must be a collective and shared responsibility. Because a future without researchers is a future without solutions. Yet, alongside this global threat is a quieter and even more dangerous crisis. We are losing the very people who work to solve AMR. Young researchers who might have been the next generation of AMR leaders are choosing other paths, and those who remain are often overstretched, undervalued, or overlooked. And you wonder why they are not attracted to a field like this. Well, let us consider what it looks like for early career researchers today. You spend years studying, you take on debt that your future job may not be able to repay, you earn stipends that are lower than certain salaries of some jobs, including part-time jobs. In the UK, for instance, doctoral candidates are paid around £20,000 a year, much lower compared to their EU counterparts, like the Marie Curie doctorates, for instance. There is no consideration for family allowance. There is no recognition of additional responsibilities. And many have to take on additional jobs just to stay afloat. So when a young person chooses to work in the AMR space today, it is not because the system is attractive, it is because they have passion. But passion alone cannot sustain an entire pipeline of future scientists. And before you brush that point aside, there's something else to consider. Recognition is supposed to reflect contribution. But if you ask early career researchers today, they have a different story. Well, they help to design the experiment, oftentimes help redesign it, they run it, they redo it when it fails, they work late nights in the lab, they troubleshoot, then they gather the data, and they write the first draft. Yet, the spotlight often falls elsewhere. On the conference stage or at the awards ceremony, their names might just make the footnote. And you might see it if you squint just hard enough. Senior academics and principal investigators usually are the ones who will present the work, receive the award, and become the recognized expert. Now, let me say this clearly. Senior academics and investigators do deserve recognition for their leadership and vision. After all, they are the ones who often work painstakingly to secure the funding required to allow the work to happen. But the people who make this vision and turn it into something real, who pour in their youth, their time, and their energy into the work day to day, should not have to fight for a place in its story or fight to be seen. You might say, just like popular opinion, that visibility is vanity. For early career researchers, visibility is opportunity and employability. It is motivation and encouragement. It is confidence. And it is what allows them to stay in the field long enough to make a difference. And why does that matter? Well, AMR is not a problem solved in 5 years or even a generation. It requires continuous commitment, courage, innovation, and continuous investment. Investment in people who are often invisible to the public eye. Let's take climate change, which we've heard about just now, or cancer research, as we heard in the introduction, for example. These fields are rightly recognized as global challenges, but AMR underpins them both. Cancer patients rely on antimicrobials to fight infections before they can carry on with their treatment, like chemotherapy. Every surgical intervention depends on antimicrobials that must still work. Climate change reshapes global health patterns, which means our medicines must remain effective and must be future-proof. Yet, when AMR researchers are overlooked, the consequences are not abstract. They are felt in every land, every community, every hospital ward, and every home. And that's not the only challenge. Our research systems today were built for a different era than the one we live in. The way we evaluate science has not kept pace with the realities that young people face today. We often say we value creativity and collaboration, yet we still reward tradition. You'll hear, in my time we struggled. Why can't they? But we forget that the young people entering AMR research today are doing so while starting young families. They are rocking babies to sleep at night. They are analyzing gigabytes of data in the early hours and running enzyme assays in the morning, literally juggling beakers, bytes, and bedtimes. They are caring for parents and partners. And yet, they are expected to meet tightening deadlines, publication pressures, and output metrics which seem to grow every time someone blinks. All within a system that is built for a world with far fewer competing demands and far more stability than young researchers have today. A system which assumed that someone else will handle the rest of life. Let's not forget, though, that this generation does have options. I mean, have you seen TikTok? But if we do not then support them, they will go elsewhere where they are valued. And honestly, can you blame them? We do have hope, though. Today, beginning now, we can redefine history. We can do what early career researchers need the most from us. And how can we do this? Because when early career researchers are genuinely empowered, something amazing happens. They build connections across disciplines. They think creatively. They innovate boldly and confidently. They build diagnostics, therapies, and public engagement tools. Yes, even using TikTok and the all-powerful artificial intelligence platforms that we now have. And why does this matter for early career researchers? They are the ones who will face the consequences of AMR. Them, their children, and their children after them. That means your children, your grandchildren, and their children after that. So what must we do together? If we want solutions for this generation and the next, we must support early career researchers. We must value the people who do the work more than the work itself. We must build structures that recognize contributions fairly. Bring those early career researchers along to those award ceremonies and let them stand side by side with us. We must ensure that early career researchers have the nurture that they need. And we must revamp our evaluation systems to value and reward creativity and collaboration. Most importantly, we must ensure that the funding that young researchers have allows them to thrive, not just survive. And you're wondering, we started with faces. Faces of those just like us who may have lost their lives to antimicrobial resistance infections. But the deeper loss would be if we do not support those who are fighting to prevent a bleak future, and if we do not honor young researchers who are fighting a battle that belongs to all of us. Young researchers are standing in the place between hope and history. They are the generation who can learn from the past, act in the present, and shape future solutions for us all. They are the faces in which we must invest. Because a future without young researchers is a future without solutions. And that is a future none of us can afford. Thank you.